Hello. Today, throughout this journey, you will not only gain a lot of knowledge regarding a topic that lacks the sufficient amount of attention, you will also learn about proactive ways in which we can improve society and our actions regarding fighting discrimination and raising awareness for people living with rare diseases. Jenny, the mother of a child with a very rare disability in Latvia, speaks about how they opened Kurt's Coffee. She says that Kurt's Coffee provides a safe haven for families who have members living with rare diseases. The coffee shop is targeted towards normalizing the idea of people living with rare diseases. The families that go into the coffee shop have made a video targeted towards the Latvian president in order to urge him to address the issue of the very limited financial help the government provides of only €200, while it costs 10 times that much to take care of a person with a disability. The government says the children can be put into state care, but they would have to pay €2,000 a month for that. Jenny, appalled, speaks up about how the mere idea of giving up your child is ridiculous, and parents who have children with a disability want to keep them in the family and make their lives as normal as possible. We will go on to provide a sense of education through some facts on the topic. A rare disease is any disease that affects a small percentage of the population. The zebra print ribbon, this is a symbol of rare disease awareness. The average rare disease patient consults with 5 doctors, waits 4 years, receives 3 misdiagnoses until receiving the final diagnosis. In some parts of the world, an orphan disease is a rare disease whose rarity means there is a lack of a market large enough to gain support and resources for discovering treatments for it. Billy Fung, a parent of a child with a disability, says, "Finding treatment is the biggest source of stress in their daily lives." He also goes on to say that it is even rarer to find doctors who have specialized in rare diseases. China has the largest cumulative number of rare disease patients, over 10 million. 30% will not live to see their 5th birthday. Some cases have less than 10 patients. Rare Disease Day is an observance held on the last day of February to raise awareness for rare diseases and improve access to treatment and medical representation for individuals with rare diseases and their families. How to tackle issues of inclusivity and discrimination of people living with rare diseases. A proactive take and actions can be done through education, inclusivity at work, pop-ups, raising awareness, and policy. Primarily and ideally, the issue of discrimination and lack of inclusivity can be addressed through early onset education that focuses on building empathy, understanding, and acceptance. This can take the format of the way sex ed does and should be implemented from the earliest stages of the educational process. This, in tandem with how to help seminars, can be a great tool to uproot these issues from the earlier stages. We should start shaping a more empathetic and inclusive future for people with rare diseases. This can also be aided through art projects, competitions, where the winner's art is used for high-profile campaigns, and interactive games that foster non-discriminatory interactions and build empathy. We can implement the celebration of Rare Disease Day at schools with bonding and educational activities, including activities from the organization itself. We can, a very creative and proactive way towards inclusivity is through inclusivity at work. A unique and quite creative and influential way to set an example is through pop-up shops and cafes. This will be a mobile rendering of, for example, a cafe that will travel around to maximize outreach and awareness, while setting a true example through only hiring employees with rare diseases and disabilities to show all the ways they are capable and independent rather than focusing on what they cannot do. The space itself will serve as a platform to hold educational seminars and raise awareness. Inclusivity in work can also be through offering equal opportunity. The general public should demand no discrimination against patients with rare diseases. Actions of solidarity at the workplace if policy does not account for opportunity for people living with rare diseases. A number of physical events can be organized, like a marathon, to raise awareness on the topic. The topic can be popularized through famous spokespeople to raise awareness. What's your story? Let's look at some personal stories that have really pulled on our heartstrings and have inspired us to make a change and to be the change. The owner of Umbrella, a restaurant that only employs people with disabilities, was very adamant on showing business owners that people living with rare diseases and disabilities can and should be included in the job market instead of being cast aside, as they have been their whole lives, socially and professionally. To show what the people with disabilities can do, not what they cannot do. Billy Fung, a parent of a child with a rare disease, speaks up about discrimination and issues that go along with it. He explains that not only is it more challenging for rare disease patients to enroll in schools, as there are no implemented plans to protect the rights of these patients, but they also have to face severe discrimination from their peers. He reveals that this predicament encourages rare disease patients to hide their illness from others instead of opening up so that society can gain awareness. He goes on to say that this is apparent even when we talk about marriage, as we are even afraid that our potential partner might not understand what it means to suffer from a rare disease. With this touching and very personal experience, we can see how the people with rare diseases become often discouraged from being their own advocates as a result of discrimination, exclusion, and overall lack of understanding. The above recommendations for improving our own actions as a society in regards to the issue of discrimination and lack of inclusivity of people living with rare diseases are only scratching the surface of what we can do and what we should do to create a better, more understanding, and more comfortable, as well as inclusive world for every person living with a rare disease. They are already struggling. We should not be the ones making their struggle worse, but rather fighting to lessen it. Thank you.